A Wiregrass man accused of bestiality gets his day in court, and Ozark residents could be receiving more tickets this month on the road. We'll tell you why. David?
Cloud cover lingers for yet another day, but some brighter weather is in sight. I'll have your forecast coming up.
From your hometown news leader, this is WTVY News 4 at 6.
Republican presidential candidate Mike Huckabee talks exclusively to News 4. Good evening, I'm Reginald Jones.
And I'm Devin Sellers. Thank you for joining us for News 4 at 6. 8 years ago, Mike Huckabee won Alabama's Republican presidential primary. This year, he's struggling way behind Donald Trump in the polls, and so are 10 other candidates whose messages are blocked by Trump's popularity. So can Governor Huckabee come out of the shadows and emerge victorious? That's just one of the things he spoke about during an exclusive interview with News 4's Ken Curtis. Ken is with us now.
Hey, Devin, and the answers covering several subjects from those controversial decals to guns. We're talking about the decals in Houston County, to guns, to grits, and the recent CNN debate where Huckabee and other candidates could barely get a word in.
I think I have to hope that future debates are going to be conducted with a much greater sense of equity and fairness. The CNN debate was an embarrassment to the Republican Party, and it was an insult to those of us who are running for president. The networks and the media should not be picking the Republican candidate for the voters. It is a Republican primary, not a CNN primary. And they may air it, that may be their prerogative. But the RNC, Republican National Committee, needs to take command and say, the purpose of this entire process is for Republicans to get a real good understanding of where these candidates stand on the issues that matter to America.
Dothan, Southeast Alabama, very, very conservative, rural-based area. People here want jobs. People promise jobs, but we don't see them. Can you make a promise that you can keep?
Well, I can make a promise that if we pass the fair tax, which is what I advocate, we will see jobs come to America. The reason we lose jobs is simple. Excess taxation, excess regulation, excess litigation leads to job migration. Jobs disappear when the taxes are higher than they need to be, should be, and can be for growth. When the regulatory environment stifles any business from being able to be competitive. And when businesses have to spend a lot of their money defending themselves against lawsuits and attorney fees, you add all that together and jobs just are going to go somewhere else.
Small town tour today, what does that get you hope?
I think it's important to identify with people in what I call the heart of America. The last book I wrote was called God, Guns, Grits, and Gravy. And it was about the fact that so many people live in we often call the flyover states, the red states. I call it the land of God, guns, grits, and gravy. And what I mean by that is that there's a disconnect between the people living in the bubbles of New York, Washington, and Hollywood, and people who live in places like Dothan.
We just had something happen. Our sheriff here put decals on the sheriff's vehicles and mentions the book of Matthew. For fear of a lawsuit, those have been removed. What would you tell people who would threaten a lawsuit against such a thing?
If I were president, I would guarantee the religious liberty of a sheriff. I would believe that a person has some First Amendment rights as long as he doesn't say that people can't believe something. I don't know that he should be prohibited in what he believes.
Now, Huckabee has a long way to go to make up ground this election. All the candidates, except Donald Trump does, or they do, I should say. Now, Huckabee, we refer to him as the former governor of Arkansas because he is. But today, he lives right down the road in Destin, Florida. Apologies for my voice, guys. It's not going to last much longer.
All right, thanks so much, Ken. A USA Today poll released last week showed that Governor Huckabee is the choice of 2% of likely voters. Donald Trump, the choice of 23%.
Authorities are tonight investigating a shooting which occurred along the Holmes-Geneva County line on Sunday night. The Geneva County Sheriff's Office says on 2 separate occasions, 27-year-old Jamie Newberry attempted to get inside a home on Noma Road south of Slocum. After a confrontation with the homeowner, the second time, Newberry was shot in the leg, taken to a Florida hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Sheriff Tony Helms does not expect charges against the homeowner.
The man charged with having sex with his estranged wife's dog was in a Geneva County courtroom today. Jonathan Medley's trial was continued to the December Circuit Court docket. Last June, the 39-year-old reportedly told police he had sex with the Shih Tzu named Buster because his wife paid more attention to the dog. Medley's attorney, David Harrison, tells News 4 his client is innocent of the charge. The case has garnered worldwide attention through social media.
Also in Geneva today, the woman charged in the death of her own daughter had her case also moved to the December docket. Starlia Knight of Midland City is behind bars on murder and several other felony charges. Last May, she reportedly lost control of her pickup truck shortly after crossing the Geneva-Holmes County line. Her 4-year-old daughter, Zariah Tucker, was killed. Several of her other children received minor injuries. Knight remains in jail tonight on a $250,000 bond.
Ozark is starting a community policing initiative. It's a positive ticketing program. The goal is to reward people for good deeds throughout the month of October. Ozark police officers will be issuing tickets that people can then trade in for free food at a local restaurant. Chief Marlis Walker believes rewarding good behavior will lead to even better behavior. The initiative begins tomorrow.
How cool is that?
I know.
Yeah, pretty cool. Turning our attention to weather now, it's been a pretty great day for us, a little on the cool side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's turn it over now to Chief Meteorologist David Paul for our first check on our weather. David?
Yeah, those temperatures running below normal for yet another day, but that will change as we go through this week. We warm up and eventually we see that sunshine return. There's a live look outdoors in Dothan this evening. Yeah, more clouds outside, 68 degrees, winds north-northeast at 8 miles per hour. If you like fall weather, you are loving what we're seeing. A big area of low pressure spinning off the coast there of the Carolinas, Georgia, and Florida, keeping low clouds in place, and that will be the case for tonight too. So any evening walk plans that you have, maybe a light jacket. Temperatures in the mid-60s, I should say. Light winds as we go through tonight, and then tomorrow, later in the day, the clouds finally begin breaking up, and we see some sunshine as we turn warmer. I'll have that forecast into the weekend coming up in just a bit.
All right, thanks a lot, David. Little sunshine this past week is leaving farmers nervous in the middle of fall harvest. News 4's Lauren Linehan spoke with local farmers to hear their concerns about the dreary weather, and she joins us live from the newsroom. Lauren?
Devin, a moisture train out of the Atlantic produced both Hurricane Joaquin and historic flooding in the Carolinas. But clouds alone are leaving wiregrass farmers concerned and thinking about the potential of what's going to happen in the fall harvest.
It's been over a week. It's been rainy, dreary weather, and it's been tough.
Since last Monday, soggy conditions brought the fall harvest to a halt when an unsettled weather pattern of heavy rains and overcast skies took over the wiregrass, leaving local peanut and cotton farmers a little gloomy. Though no farmer can say no to a little water, excessive moisture over the past week is already hurting crops and preventing farmers from moving forward with the harvest.
In the cotton fields, we're seeing some hard lock because of the moisture getting on the young bolls that are cracking open and they're not opening correctly. Also seeing rotting of the bolls. And then this past week, some fields have been defoliated, and so the leaves are off, and that puts them at a disadvantage to weather.
Some peanut crops have already been dug, but have been sitting out in the fields for over a week waiting to be picked, risking both the quantity and quality.
Rain by itself or wind by itself, it's not as bad, but when you get rain and wind together, like we have seen some of, then you see some of the locks falling out of the cotton and the quality degrading.
With September wrapping up with a surplus of rain, farmers are banking on a change in the weather pattern in the month ahead and still holding out hope for a successful harvest.
Farmers really need some dry weather. And you know, normally October is one of our driest months, so we're very hopeful that we're going to get sunshine and dry weather so peanut digging, peanut picking, and cotton picking can go on.
Farmers say the reason that we could still have a good harvest is bidding the clouds adieu and finally having at least 1 week of sunny and dry weather. Devin?
All right, thanks, Lauren. Nearly a 5-inch surplus of rain was recorded for the month of September in southeast Alabama.
Well, we were asking for the rain. Now we're asking for it to back off a little bit.
You can never get what you want.
I know. Dale County Sheriff's Department gets new members, which affords the agency to revive a very crucial unit. We're going to fill you in coming up.
And cowboys and girls from all over were in Bonifay this weekend. Find out what the extra traffic means to the local economy after the break.
You're watching News 4 at 6 with Reginald Jones, Devin Sellers, Chief Meteorologist David Paul, and Tony Cornish Jr. with sports.
Dale County Sheriff's Department recently added a K-9 unit. And News 4's Chelsea Hellman met with the officer and his dog today, and she has more on their story.
Ever since he was a puppy, Deputy Sheriff Josh Wasden has been training his dog to be in law enforcement. Now he rides along with Wasden on all of his calls.
I just started riding Chief around with us when he was a puppy, and we would start doing training scenarios and stuff, so I'd get him out and do a few things with him and notice that he had a lot of drive and a lot of potential.
The Dale County Sheriff's Office also saw potential in Chief, and with Chief's talents, what better time to revive the K-9 program?
The opportunity came up to hire Deputy Wasden, so we jumped on opportunity and along with his dog. He was gracious enough to bring that along with him.
I had this dog with all these capabilities, you know, if they wanted to put it in use, that'd be great. It'd be no expense to the Sheriff's Office, only just to provide the ride.
Training and developing a K-9 unit can cost anywhere from $7,000 to $11,000 just for the dog itself. Deputy Wasden was providing his dog for no cost to the taxpayers.
He donated the dog. He's already trained, certified, and all that kind of stuff, so it was good to go ahead and put him on the road.
And Chief is the only K-9 unit in Dale County.
As of right now, he's the only detection dog on the street in Dale County, so he is a very big asset, not only to the Sheriff's Office, but the whole county.
And that was Chelsea Hellman reporting. Wasden also has another puppy that they are hoping to add to the force soon. Now, Chief is 19 months old and is trained in narcotics and tracking.
The 71st annual Northwest Florida Championship Rodeo is over, and it seems local businesses walked away with the grand prize, large profits. Rodeo organizers expected between 8,000 and 10,000 people to attend the rodeo each night. County officials say hotels, restaurants, and convenience stores usually fare extremely well during the three-day event. Local diners like Holiday Restaurant say the rodeo is one of their busiest weekends, with staff usually doubling tips and working extended hours.
We were packed out pretty much every night at the rodeo. We had people waiting in line to sit down. Saturday was probably our biggest night, especially after the parade. They also were piled in.
County officials say the event usually increases sales tax revenue from October to November by about $40,000 for the entire county.
It's good news for them.
It is.
A couple of Alabama and Auburn players earning SEC honors after this weekend. Taylor Tannenbaum has details later in sports.
But up next, David will let us know when we might see more sunshine. His full forecast when we come back.
And now from the Forewarned Storm Center, Chief Meteorologist David Paul.
Cloudy weather continues across the Wiregrass. There's a live look outdoors in Abbeville. Plenty of clouds today, more clouds for tonight, but finally some sunshine returns tomorrow. Temperatures cooler than normal. 67 now in Dothan, 70 Abbeville, 70 in Ozark, 69 now in Geneva. Temperatures overnight falling into the lower 60s under those cloudy skies, but no rain, no drizzle. It's a quiet day as far as precipitation goes. Plenty of clouds on the map all around us today, all thanks to that big area of low pressure off the coast now of the southeast. We have Hurricane Joaquin up there to the northeast, and then this big area of low pressure spinning off the coast of the southeast. That will pull away over the coming days, and we'll get some drier air to move in. That means some sunshine as that low departs. But in the short term, still plenty of clouds moving in from the north. We'll keep that in place for the overnight period. Temperatures falling into the mid to lower 60s, so maybe a light jacket early tomorrow morning as you head outdoors. Lunchtime tomorrow, still look for fairly cloudy skies, and then starting to break up later tomorrow. This particular computer model, pretty generous with the sunshine later tomorrow. Likely some clouds will linger, but some sunshine coming on through with high temperatures in the upper 70s. If we get enough sunshine, low 80s, but it looks like most areas will see highs in the upper 70s. So a little warmer as we go through this week. To the tropics we go. There is Hurricane Joaquin, a Category 1 now northeast of Bermuda, moving out to sea. Some good news. Southward washing some areas of showers and thunderstorms. Nothing close to home. The Gulf and the Caribbean super quiet spotted one tropical wave out there in the Atlantic. Bears watching over the coming days, but it will take a while if we see any organization. Tomorrow at the beach, yellow flags, kind of a gusty northeast wind. That water temperature at 77 degrees, down 3 degrees in the past 4 or 5 days here, and down 10 degrees from what we saw back in the summertime. So certainly transitioning towards fall across the Gulf Coast. 61 overnight, clouds around, northeast winds at about 5. And then tomorrow, clouds giving way to a little sunshine later tomorrow. That will look good. 77, our high temperature on Tuesday. Over the coming days here, gradually warmer, a little more sun as we go through midweek there on Wednesday. Thursday, 83. A little more cloudiness comes in, but kind of a mix of sun and clouds into the weekend. And we turn warmer too. 86 on Friday, 87 on Saturday. Not real humid though, but it will be warmer. And we keep the mid 80s around for Sunday too. So after a very fall-like weekend, we get more back, more into late summer-like weather for this coming weekend.
Yeah, I thought we were done with all that.
Not quite, not quite.
Okay.
Here's your McDonald's Weatherwise trivia question for tonight. From which direction do the winds blow on the west side of a low-pressure system? We've seen it now for quite a few days. East, west, north, or south? Log on to WTVY.com. Let us know. You might win 2 meals to McDonald's.
All right. I'll have to do that. I've got to like put my thinking cap on though. I just want to get it right tonight.
Did I see any kind of movement on your weather maps just a few minutes ago?
Yes, I gave away a big hint.
Yeah, okay. All right. I wasn't paying attention. All right. Taylor in now with sports. Nick Saban got a little loud at his press conference today.
This is a guy who's never really afraid to show his emotions and tell people how he feels, right? We see these rants every once in a while. Well, it happened again today. He got a little testy with one of the reporters. We'll hear from Mr. Nick Saban coming up in just a bit. And I had the weekend to look through some video to find some of the best plays from Friday Night Football. T-Bomb's Top 5 is up next. But first, your fishing game forecast for tomorrow.
And now, Taylor Tannenbaum with sports.
The spotlight is always shining on Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide, whether good or bad. After the loss against Ole Miss, there was talk of the dynasty on the decline. But after this weekend's win against Georgia, they're back in the national championship conversation. Today, when a reporter asked Saban about the perception of his program being up and down from week to week, Saban got fired up. Perception is not reality, and he doesn't care what the media has to say.
It really doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you say. And I'm hoping that nobody on our team is playing for you. I hope they're playing for each other and their team and what they want to accomplish and not what you think. All right, because that's not certainly what I'm doing. I said before, I believe in our team. I do believe in our team. All right, and we're going to work hard to make our team better. And I hope the players respond the right way. And it's not going to be for you. The fans, yes. Because if it was up to you, we're 6 foot under already. We're dead and buried and gone. Gone.
Alabama is still very much alive. Don't mess with Nick Saban on a Monday. That's the lesson there. He means business. A couple of Alabama players receiving some accolades after this weekend's performance. Running back Derrick Henry is the SEC's Offensive Player of the Week. He rushed for a career-high 148 yards and a touchdown. Wide receiver Calvin Ridley is the SEC's Freshman of the Week. He caught 5 passes for 120 yards and that touchdown. Auburn's Rudy Ford, Special Teams Player of the Week after returning 2 kickoffs for 81 yards. He also led the defense in tackles. Week 7 of the high school football season has come and gone, but there were a few plays that left a lasting impression. Who had the skills to make it into this week's edition of T-Bomb's Top 5? Well, the Providence Christian Eagles, they had the skills on the road at Ayrton. Eagles driving here. Hunter Gwynn back to pass. He launches a long ball and hits Jackson Reeves in stride for the touchdown, right on the money. Reeves not even fazed by that defender on his back. Provi wins 38-20. I was there sideline to witness play number 4, GW Long versus Geneva County. Saw this one with my own 2 eyes. Kenan Casey hands the rock to Garrett Sanders, and he does what he does best. Garrett Sanders scores. No one lays a finger on him. A 67-yard touchdown. Long blows out Geneva County 49-0. Next up at number 3, we have the Wicksburg Panthers taking on Dale County. This is some kind of magic. First, you don't see him, then you do. Sean Bowden takes the direct snap straight through the pile and all the way to the house. That's some big boy football right there. Wicksburg wins 52-22. Coming in at number 2, Abbeville at Slocum. The Red Tops on the move. Jordan King, he lets one rip, and it is picked off by the Jackets. Steven Gutsmore tips it, and Jeremiah Harris, even better in slow-mo, dives to catch the ball before it hits the ground. But Abbeville falls to Slocum 45-18. And numero uno, the best of the best, T-Bomb's top play belongs to the Northview Cougars. It's a halfback pass option. Roderick Melton showing off the cannon, hits a wide open Terrell Harris for the 65-yard TD, scoring on one of the best high school secondaries in the state, might I add. Northview, though, they lost a close one to Park Crossing, 41-34. Northview's all about the big plays this year.
They are. It seems that way.
It seems that way.
I like the T-Bomb. I like that little
T-Bomb's top 5.
Yeah,
I like it too.
that.
We can have the R. Jones, D. Sellers. We can work something in there.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
But the T-Bomb is franchised now, so.
Oh.
We hear you. All right, David has a final check on the forecast for us in just a moment.
Cloudy tonight, cloudy tomorrow until later in the day. A little sunshine, warmer 77, low 80s on Wednesday, a little more sun, and then mid 80s as we get towards the weekend, warming up a little bit.
I have to pull my shorts back out.
Yeah, closet's full these days.
All right, thanks a lot. That's our time. Thank you for yours. Wheel of Fortune coming your way next.